Hello, Uganda. Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Hotseat on 933 KFM. I welcome you, our listeners, across this beautiful land, the Pearl of Africa. My name is Patrick Kamara. Tonight, we look into government's preparedness to handle disasters, because in the last couple of days, we have seen so many things happening. Heavy rains in Kasese have wreaked havoc, causing floods, which leaving 2 children dead. We also look at the fuel tanks have exploded on the roads, killing people. But the landslides in eastern Uganda are also a cause for worry. And so we'll be looking at how is eastern Uganda, the Elgon area, trying to handle the issue of landslides right now. And my guest this evening, who's joining me online, is the district chairperson for Bulambuli. The district chairperson for Bulambuli. Joining me online is Annette Nandudu. Annette, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, so you have been on the ground, Madam Chairperson, and if you can just let us know exactly how is the situation in Bulambuli, what have the floods caused, and how are the landslides, affecting the people whom you lead?
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. Annette Nandudu is my name, the district chairperson of Bulambuli District Local Government. As we speak now, residents of Bulambuli, more especially in the upper part and the low belt, are not sleeping. Reason being, whenever it overrains like this, we experience the same. Sunday night, that is to say yesterday night, mudslides occurred in Namisuni sub-county, where it affected more than 20 houses. But the fortunate part was, it first warned, then these people drummed around, alarmed for others to take off from their houses. We didn't lose any life, apart from animals and their gardens and plants. This is the harvest season for their coffee. All the coffee went, animals went, and all the home things like properties in the home, everything went. But the fortunate part, they managed to save lives.
So, Madam Chairperson, you are telling us that houses and gardens and animals were destroyed, which means if they had not left in time, we could be talking about a heavy number of losses.
Sincerely speaking, we would have lost more than 100 people. But the fortunate part, those who first heard the alarm raised others so that they took off.
Madam Chairperson, when you talk of an alarm, exactly how did they get to know that the place is now very dangerous, they have to leave? How does somebody get to know that the ground is shifting?
So whenever it happens, this is a scenario where water is absorbed in the ground. Whenever it happens so, there is a spark of underground noise, which alarms. If people are not already asleep, they always hear and they know what to have. Because it's not a one-day thing, it has been happening. So people are aware of the noise which come out whenever muds are flowing.
Okay.
So when it happened like this, one person who was at the top of others heard it, came out of the house, saw what was happening up, and he alarmed to the extent that others also came out and started drumming jerry cans to ensure that they save lives.
Wow, I think that was almost miraculous that we're able to save lives, because
just God's plan. We need to appreciate him and praise him.
That is for sure. So now, as we speak, where are these people who now have lost their homes? These 20 homes, I'm sure you're dealing with like over 500 people or 200. Where are they? And how are you catering for them now? They have lost their property, lost their food, they lost their animals, and so they are in the hands of you as the district chairperson and the government.
As a district, we managed to shift these people to the sub-county headquarters. Remember, we had just constructed a new administration block where we have a good compound. Red Cross responded immediately, and a team of OPM who at the region also came in immediately. We managed to get some tents which were made for those people who were to be shifted to Bunambutie. So we got some of the tents and aligned them on our compound in Namisuni sub-county headquarters where people are confident. Remember, there is another team of people who are at a dangerous point. We have also shifted them to the sub-county. We're having a number of over 500 people whom we think must be shifted to Bunambutie resettlement camp with immediate effect.
That's a very big operation that needs a lot of logistical support, both from government and humanitarian agencies. Madam Chairperson, do you have enough support for 500 people at the sub-county? That's a colossal effort needed there.
Sir, as for yesterday, we managed. I, speaking as a district chairperson, I managed to procure some flour for them to survive as we still wait for government to come in. So far, we have received the report from OPM that it is responding anytime. They are going to bring us food items, as you know. But as a district chairperson, that is just an intervention as the word go. But us to get a remedy which will sustain this problem is shifting these people from the mountains, taking them to the resettlement camp. Remember, government has procured land in Bulambuli, which land government has tried to construct for them houses, but at a low pace.
Yes, we understand there was a program of government shifting people who are in disaster-prone areas. I'm told they also built houses. Those houses, were they completed? Are people staying in those houses? What is the actual status of those houses?
Sir, they have tried constructing, but at a low pace. Just imagine, we had just received 2 months back a team of those who were affected in Bududa to be shifted to the same camp where they have not constructed. They had a program of giving direct. These people came, they were allocated land for themselves to construct houses. As Bulambuli and as the leader of Bulambuli, I'm also pleading for the same. Let government stand in, come, we mobilize these people, we allocate them land. They are resourceful. These people are resourceful. They will look for ways of getting poles to construct temporary houses to save lives. Instead of us pushing the program, just imagine, Patrick, in 2012, where the first disaster happened in Bulambuli, OPM managed to identify those people. They were given yellow card. Up to now, some of them have lost life with the yellow card pending government's intervention.
But do the people really, are they not reluctant to leave the ancestral ground? Because people have emotional attachment to their villages, their homes. That's where they have grown. Some people, I'm told, they think they can survive on that ground despite the dangers surrounding it.
When you look at the resettlement camp in Bulambuli, it's not far away from the mountains. Kilometers are not all that too big for them. We have advised them, we have counseled them, we have ever shared with them. They have agreed to go and put up in Bunambutie, as sometimes they come for the agriculture and go back. As leaders, we have an intervention of not allowing them back if at all shifted. You know, land in Upper Bulambuli, that is the mountainous part, is scarce. Somebody has half an acre, a quarter an acre, where he or she has constructed and flattened some. So, when we tell them to shift from those mudslide-prone areas, they always ask us, where should we go? That's why these people are stuck there. Poverty is at high level, the mountainous points of Bulambuli. So my appeal to government is, let government intervene immediately. Remember, Bududa team has just come, where Bulambuli was not considered. As a leader, I'm standing. Let them allocate us our acres to shift these people. The remaining part, as leaders, we shall of not allowing these people again in the mountains.
So now, the government resettlement area, is it in Bulambuli or in Bududa?
It is in Bulambuli, Patrick.
So really, the people of Bulambuli should be given first priority because this is their home district.
Last 2 months, as they were bringing those of Bududa, as the local leader, I also complained saying, if at all it is possible, why can't they get 200 people from Bududa, they get 200 people from Bulambuli? Just to look at a scenario where Bulambuli is hosting people from Bududa, Manafa, Mbale, and our own of Bulambuli are dying in the mountains. What type of relationship is this?
There was, Madam Chairperson, earlier in 2012, there was actually even a program of relocating people from the Elgon area into Kiriandongo in Bunyoro region. And quite some people went. I actually even saw them in Bunyoro. But again, they came back. And the idea was to keep them in Bunyoro region, find them lands elsewhere in Uganda so that they can settle. What happened?
For the case of Kiriandongo's program, that was held by people of Bududa. Nobody came from Bulambuli to be taken to Kiriandongo. So I can't talk about it much because nobody went to Kiriandongo from Bulambuli and came back. For me, I'm only talking about people of Upper Bulambuli being resettled in Lower Bulambuli, where it will be just within the district. Somebody goes to sleep in Bududa as he comes to cultivate up.
Yes, but you see, that may not be sustainable, Madam Chairperson. Are they willing, even the people of Bulambuli, to shift them far away from Elgon region to any other part of Uganda and get them land where they can live happily without the danger of landslides?
Patrick, I've experienced in that those who were first settled in the first shift, they are permanently there and they are doing very well. Remember, the climate of Bulambuli Lower and Bulambuli Upper, relatively it is almost the same.
Okay.
And whatever they do in Lower, they always do it in the upper zone. So the change is not all that. As leaders of Bulambuli, for us, we have played our part of counseling these people, of sharing with them, basing on the experience we are going through. So I'm 100% sure that if we resettle these people down, nobody will come up.
And Madam Chairperson, there is also need to restore the environment because for those of you who are born there, we know these issues of landslides seem to have come of recent. Back in the day, those were not the issues, which means that the environment has been tampered with or destroyed. What are the efforts to restore the environment so the ground can be firm like it used to be?
Thank you. As I told you that as leaders, we have to play our part. Let government resettle these people. We play our part as leaders by planting back trees in those affected areas. Because of the scarcity of land, which have made people to cultivate on those mountains, it's what causing all this. But as they shift, it will be a law, and we shall pass a bylaw in our council to ensure that nobody again cultivates there apart from planting their trees.
So, but how is that going to be done, Madam Chairperson, knowing that some people will be cutting trees that are on their individual personal land?
We are going to pass a bylaw basing on the effect caused by these calamities. We shall not allow anybody after resettling them.
And as we speak right now, do you see the danger is still imminent of more rains coming on the Elgon? Are you still experiencing heavy downpour?
Patrick, it is still on. And as I speak now, I'm sloping from CC sub-county. We have been talking to my people, telling them not to sleep in those houses which are near the mountain. At least I've advised them to shift to the nearby schools, nearby churches, where it is a bit flat and not prone to these disasters. The rains are still on.
I can imagine among the people who have been relocated to the sub-county headquarters, you have children and the elderly and the disabled and the sick. How are you handling those?
So this was just an immediate intervention. As I told you earlier that we have just constructed a big administration block. We have at least allocated them rooms, more especially expecting mothers, those with children, those who are sick, those who are disabled. At least we have separated them in rooms.
All right.
Independently. Apart from those whom we see that they are energetic enough and those ones are the ones occupying the tents. But these ones we have relocated. We have the OSA facility there. Everything is in place.
I want to thank you, Madam Chairperson, but before I let you go, what would you want to tell the rest of Uganda?
Thank you very much, Patrick. As a Ugandan and a leader and a local leader at a low level, I would request the government of Republic of Uganda at least to decentralize the office of the Prime Minister for quick response.
All right.
In that, whenever these calamities happen, people must feel. People must know exactly what is on ground. Secondly, our Prime Minister is overloaded. One person cannot move the whole of Uganda, especially this. Sometimes, as we tell them, they think it is just a history. It is a story. Let government decentralize this opium office.
All right. Bulambuli District Chairperson Annette Nandudu, thank you very much. Wanyala Navi.
Kale Baba wana wanyala.
Thank you. We're going to take a break. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Amar. We're looking at the effects of the landslides in the Bulambuli district. We've been speaking to the district chairperson, Annette Nandudu, but now we are honored to have the Member of Parliament for Elgon North County, Bulambuli district again, the Honorable Gerard Nangoli. Honorable Gerard, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Patrick, very well.
Thank you so much, and thank you for finding time to join us. I know you have been trying to liaise with your people, but from your own perspective, in the areas that are affected, how is the situation like, and what are you doing for the people? I can imagine among those who are displaced are children, are the elderly, people expecting mothers. What are you doing for them?
Thank you so much, Patrick Kamara, for hosting me on air. First and foremost, my name is Gerard Nangola. I represent the people of Elgon North, where the incident happened. That is in the Museveni sub-county and Ambeche parish. As we talk right now, there is a very big crisis because as of yesterday, we had to come up with a necessary measure to ensure that the affected families, especially the ones that are homeless,
Yes.
Of course, there are about two categories in this case. There are those who have lost their gardens, but they are not homeless. There are those who have lost gardens, but they are homeless. What do I mean? The ones who are homeless, even their homes were swept away.
Okay.
By the ones who have lost gardens, they stay somewhere else, but their gardens have what? Have gone. And we have lost about 120 acres of land that has been swept away. We got a tentative measure. We said, no, let these people be evacuated and camp at the sub-county headquarters. Why sub-county headquarters? Because the schools have candidate classes that are sitting for exams next week, especially P7. So we could not interfere with what? With primary schools nearby to accommodate these people. Yesterday we managed to secure some tents from the office of the Prime Minister, and we put up tentative tents. But that is not a permanent solution. We are urging the government to come up with a comprehensive report and approach of how we can resolve this once for all. Because some of these people who have been affected, the expectant mothers, the children, they were long time ago among the people who were supposed to be relocated to Vunabuche. They even got cards. They have even cards. Actually, we are just lucky that we did not lose any life. Otherwise, it would have been a very big problem as of now.
So now, Honorable, the situation, I'm sure, is likely to get very precarious because you have the rain still going on, and you have people who are going to be crammed up in a camp. The possibility of having waterborne diseases are up. I mean, how are you handling that situation? Because
we are in a serious crisis, as I've already mentioned. We are in their need for support. I've just been speaking to the Prime Minister, and they have assured me things are on the way coming, but that's not enough. Because as I talk now, we have only one toilet facility at the sub-county headquarters. The sub-county headquarters, as you know, here we don't have enough land. It is seated on about 25 decimals. Now you tell me accommodating about 18 families on 25 decimals. And on top of the 25 decimals, part of it is the building for the sub-county headquarters. So there's a serious crisis. We need to have a short-term measure of how to move these people immediately.
Isn't there a possibility? Is there a possibility of moving the affected families, even if it means far away from Bulambuli? Because now, if the way how you're describing the land, and perhaps you will be shifting more people because the rains are still there, it may not be enough for them. And if you cram them in a small place, that could cause a health disaster.
It is a real disaster, and the weakness goes back to government. Because I've told you, Kamara, these people, among the 18 families, about 16 are duly registered. They have even the card. You know, when you register, they give you a card to show you that you have been verified, pending payment. Some of these families, they are among the people who are supposed to benefit from Give Direct. Give Direct, where the government contributes 10 million, and then Give Direct as an NGO gives 7 million, totaling to 17 million, so that these people can move voluntarily to go and relocate. You can even decide to go in the lower areas and buy land and settle there. Or you can buy a border, you rent somewhere, you get an income from the border. They are the people who have been here for the last 12 months. Every day I come to the conference, they ask me, Honorable, what happened? Should we throw this card? Why are they taking longer to implement?
I asked the question to the district chairperson, but let me also ask you, there was a program of actually building actual houses, actually in Bulambuli, to relocate, including people from Bududa. What is the status of the houses themselves?
The houses are not there as I talk now. They recently brought people from Bududa. They are also staying in the camps. They are sleeping in the tents. There are no houses. There are all the houses that they built, but actually people got all of them out. So apparently, as I speak, there are no houses there. People are staying in the tents. And we are saying, why should we relocate these people again also in tents? Because we shall bring more problems. But let's get to what we promised them, that we shall give them 17 million. They are willing to relocate even tonight, provided because these are mature people. They are not children. They know the implication of eating this money. Where will they go with their family? But imagine from the house, the construction, a cost of a house in Bunambuche goes for 45 million. But imagine people are saying, no, you give us 17 million. Let's look for our own way, how to survive.
So what is going to be the permanent solution for the people staying on the Elgon area, especially areas that are prone to landslides? Because environment has been destroyed. I'm sure when you are young people, these landslides were not there, but because of human activity, the situation is the way how it is right now. Nature needs to be restored. Is there any effort for restoration of nature on the Elgon?
The efforts are there, but we cannot have the two. When people are still continuing to cultivate the same land that we should have transformed into what? Maybe a forest, we plant trees. As I talk now, I invite you, Kamara, to come on the ground, maybe when you get time. There is a very big kuraka that has been developed, stretching all the way, covering about 5 sub-counties. And actually, anytime I'm worried, we might get serious disasters. There is a very big kuraka, the same kuraka that happened on Sunday. It has stretched from Namisuni, Sisi, up to Masoba, the other side. So these are serious. We are sitting on a timing bomb. Anytime government will be shocked. But we don't want to rescue people or to come to their rescue when people have died. We should have a permanent solution. These people are willing. We say that we give them the money as a permanent solution, and we sign an MOU with them, but we don't come back to this land. This land now belongs to government. Government will take over land and plant trees immediately.
I also understand that the people on that sub-county are also very attached to their own land, being the ancestral land. It's also very hard on Ebonangoli for them even to move because of the special attachment they have to their ancestral land.
You see, Tamara, when you come to my constituency, it's formed on two belts. We have the upper belt and the lower belt. The lower belt is what we are talking about. But besides the lower belt also, there are some areas that are flat. That's why I'm telling you that when the government implements what it promised the people, that it will give people 17 million. For us, there someone can even neglect land of 3 million. And they use the 5 million to put up a small structure for his family. There are areas that are safe. Like Bulejeni Town Council is very safe. Some sub-county is very safe. You get the point. These are areas that are flat. Actually, you can't believe when you move away about 500 meters or half a kilometer, and then you get a different picture. So I'm talking about what I know. I've grown up in this area. that please, let's implement what we came up with, this approach of giving people cash. Let them relocate at their own when you have given them money. But otherwise, saying we are taking them to Bunambu, first of all, there are no houses. What are they going to do? They will come back. Those are the challenges, because they will not stay in state for 1 year or 6 months.
How about finding them land elsewhere from Masaba region to, like at one point I remember in Bunyoro, in Kiryandongo, or maybe in northern Uganda, or even in Buganda or in Toro, where I come from, if the land is available?
Tamara, you and me, you have never been in a camp, or you have never been in a camp. But do you know that the 55% of the people who are taken to Kiryandongo have returned back to Bududa? Are you aware about that?
I understand they came back, but what pushed them back?
They came back simply because the conditions in Masindi, Kiryandongo are totally different from Bududa. But what we can do, there are urban centers where people can live. They are cheap to manage. There are some, and we told the government, we said, if that's the case, then we can do urbanization. We create some urban centers where these people can settle. We even construct for them houses, but in urban centers, you give them 2 rooms, you say, please, start from here. Then they will be going to those areas for maybe cultivation, digging. But when the government has taken over the land, it should be a government policy that, please, we have given you this package for you to settle somewhere else. We have taken measurements of your land that has been affected by the mudslide, and don't go back to it. You know, Kamara, when we come up with a policy, it must be a policy. It is the duty of government to enforce the law and make sure that policy operates. But the question is, you have told people we are going to give you money. You have sent a team on the ground. It is now 1 year, 12 months down the road. People have not seen results. What do you expect? People will go back to their land and say, let me die from here, because what the government promised has not delivered. Are you getting it, my brother?
Yes, I am. And I want to thank you, Honorable Jared Nangoli, and for having given us your time and to your submission. We thank you. What would you want to tell those who make decisions for Uganda? What would you want them to know from you tonight?
For me, my argument to government is that, please, let's implement these things. Whenever we discuss, actually at times I ask myself, we raise the issues on the floor of Parliament. They say we are going to work on it tomorrow, another day. Then you go back to the constituents, people just praise you because you raised an issue on the floor of Parliament. Yeah? But the end result is the most critical thing in this case. We have talked about Bulambuli, we have talked about Elgon zone, especially Bugisu sub-region. If it means Bugisu having a special ministry, let's do it.
All right.
You get the point. So that we are also catered for like Ruero, Karamoja, Bunyoro, Ruenzori. Why not Bugisu? And then, too, let's have a longer-term remit for Bugisu region. Because otherwise we shall cry. And I want to assure you, Kamara, as I talk now today, it has rained for more than 5 hours. So we are anticipating, actually, we have total fear that anything can happen again. Not necessarily in Museveni, but maybe in the city. Because I've told you there's a very big cracker that has been developed.
All right.
So OPM, I said, please, if we can send here a team immediately to do a thorough assessment and verification, we should not go by the 18 families that have been affected, but there are those that are in danger.
Okay, Honorable Jared Nangoli, Elgon North County Member of Parliament. Thank you so much, Wanyaranabi.
Thank you for your time.
We're going to take a break. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Amara, and we're discussing the landslides that are affecting the people on the Elgon Mountain. We had an opportunity to speak to 2 different people, all of them leaders in that area. And we've began with the district chairperson, who is for Bulambuli district, Annette Nandudu, who has told us about more than 20 families that have been affected, and other people, a total of about 500 people need help. And she's hopeful the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness and humanitarian agencies, Red Cross, are on the ground trying to help these people with food, with their, beddings and health facilities and the likes. But we have also heard from the Honorable Gerard Nangoli, who's the Elgon North County Bulambuli District Member of Parliament, who is not as very optimistic about what is going on. He wants government to be able to do what is required of them to help these people, and that the people who are promised almost 17 million shillings, they need to get this money so that they can be able to relocate, maybe buy land in somewhere in the lower lands, or even do business, have a livelihood that can give them an income and survive somewhere else. And they are disappointed because there are some people who had been looked at and they were verified that they were really vulnerable, and they're supposed to give them relocation money, and then they were given the popular yellow cards, and these yellow cards have not helped them to get anything. So they're wondering why. Look at the people, register them, verify them, and look at them as really vulnerable community, and you want to help them, but you have not helped them. So that's the situation. But if we can take you back to as early as 2012, when there was a major landslide that destroyed lives in Bududa, and a number of people were relocated by government to as far as Masindi in the Kiriandongo settlement area. But big majority of those who were relocated there, given land to stay there, have returned to the Elgon region. Some of them because the land there and the weather and the climate is different, the soil fertility is different. So of course, the language and the culture, they could not survive in Masindi. They wanted to come back. And there was also a program by government to build actual houses for the people who are affected by landslides in that area. And that also didn't come to fruition. So the district leaders are asking what happened. And the district chairperson is saying, you know what, maybe the disaster preparedness ministry or work should be decentralized as much as possible so that money can be given to the local leaders, and in case of anything, they can intervene as quickly as possible because they are empowered, they have the resources, and they're the people who keep monitoring the situation. We are lucky as a country that in Bulambuli, what happened on a Sunday night, it could have caused a bigger disaster if the people who did not know in time that the disaster was likely to strike. But this time around, they were alarmed, and they were able to tell the people, tell each other to move out of danger. And an alarm was sounded in the middle of the night, and people moved. And so the district chairperson was telling us if they hadn't really been able to sound an alarm, as Uganda now would be talking about a different disaster. But I think I should be able to open the line so that you, the people of Uganda, you can have your say on the issue of how we are handling disaster. And this week has been rather bad because it's not only in eastern Uganda. We have had heavy rains in Kasese that also caused floods. 2 children died on Saturday. And also, before that, we had the Kigogwa tragedy. You remember the fuel tank blast that killed many people. And, is government picking lessons on disaster? Are we as prepared, landslides, fuel explosions, and all this kind of stuff? So I'm opening the line so that you can tell us what you think. And sometimes when we get to hear from you, and maybe those who are taking decisions for Uganda can pick an idea from Ugandans, because this is your country too. So the numbers to call, I'm going to be reading them. I already have a call online. Hello.
Yes, good evening, Patrick.
Good evening. Good evening. I think this is Mr. Kode. Good evening, sir.
Yes, thanks for that show.
You're welcome.
Yes, me as a son who's from eastern Uganda.
Yes.
It's really so unfortunate that we are discussing this topic almost each and every year since 2012. You've just mentioned that even in Kasese it happened. You hear in Bundubujo, they always happen every year. I want to quote the district chairperson of Bulambuli very well. The way she's saying, the government is good at promising to give false hope. That means, for lack of a better word, it gives false hope. You leave people standing. By now, those people would have been relocated a long time. But they have had the 2 days. I've told you there are no houses, and there's no way they can take politically. These are voters for these MPs and elected people. So they also fear to relocate them to go in a distant place where they can't find them. So finally, for me, what I'm saying on this issue is that let the government first of all implement what they promised those people, relocate them, give them the houses, then food will come later. Because food also needs to find. They need to eat, but shelter at the moment and to save lives is what's important right now.
All right.
So,
okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kode there. You think that the government should make good on their promise? We have another call online. Hello.
Juma from Bukeria.
Juma, you're on air. Go right ahead, sir.
Thank you for serving the nation.
You're welcome.
Government should also bring some of other planning authorities for this country on board. Let me say, those of Ministry of Disaster and Preparedness. It's true, the preparedness have to be wrapped off. Let it be means of disaster and the current situation, at least will make sense to us. Because now too, the integrity of holding those offices is not functioning. Now our prayer is in service delivery paramount for the citizens of Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
Government should not come with the promising the public for what they cannot afford. Two, camping people who have been affected with any disaster's nature is not a solution. Now, when it has started long ago, till today and onward, it will be always like that. Let them not be basing on only prime minister's offices to do that. No. Let RDC and the local leaders not wait for the disaster to occur, then they run to the district or to central government. Let them start it as a new occupation, which God has no appeal for it. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the caller from Busega, Juma. Let me pick another caller. I have a call online. Hello.
Yes, this is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, where are you calling from?
Bulambuli.
Oh, Bulambuli, yes, Emmanuel from the Office of the Prime Minister, right?
Yes, I wanted to speak to me. Then I remember that during the meeting today, we said the Assistant RDC would be speaking on our behalf.
Okay.
You may not need to go to OPM again because she has all the reports and the facts. So I've texted you her number.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Typical. Well, civil servants sometimes don't want to speak, and Okay. Well, we shall be getting the RDC, but at the moment, let me open the line so have Ugandans express themselves about the issue of disaster preparedness. And, well, you have heard for yourselves, people, what we go through in making people talk. I have a call online. Hello.
Yes, Patrick.
Yes, what's your name, ma'am, and where are you calling from?
My name is Susan Negesa.
Susan?
Yes, from Sironko.
Susan from Sironko. Go right ahead, Susan.
Sironko district.
Okay.
Yes, as a former field officer in terms from Caritas,
okay.
One thing I've observed is that the government needs to step in. You see, the population has grown.
Okay.
I heard you referring that these things before they were not there.
Yes.
Now they are happening. What does it mean? The population is growing. The soil is getting overwhelmed. So the government should come up with the district leaders to relocate people. Let us grow the trees. Otherwise, our people are going to die.
But Susan, the people have seen for themselves that living on the Elgon Mountain, the way they are living there now, can cause them disaster. And why can't them start the program at family level, planting bamboo or whatever kind of trees that can hold the soil together?
Cultural attachment. People are attached. Sometime back, that is 2022, I remember there was a serious mudslide on the Elgon and Captura, and I was among the people who went to rescue in Captura. But you find that a stone road and people in the home, a mother and children, you tell them let's move. They're not willing to move because they have attachment. Just like the LC5 chairperson, Madam Annie said, sometimes the government promises and they do not come true.
All right.
You find out people going back to where they belong. I know they rather build another mud house and stay there Then just wait on the government loitering around.
Susan, I understand, and I can imagine even other Ugandans wouldn't want to leave the ancestral land. I want to thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
We're going to take a break, and the hot seat will be. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the hot seat. My name is Patrick Amara, and tonight we're discussing government preparedness to handle disasters, especially now disasters caused by landslides in areas of the Elgon Mountain. We know in Bulambuli people have been moved. Thank God they were able to move in time just before the landslide happened, and how some of them are staying at the sub-county, but they need help in terms of food, in terms of shelter, and many other things. There has been some intervention from the district local government and some intervention from Office of the Prime Minister, but the people on the ground, they say this is not enough. They need much more. We have listened from the district chairperson herself. We have listened from the Member of Parliament of the Elgon North, and also I opened the line to hear different views from you Ugandans. And I'm going to continue hearing your views. I'm going to open the lines so that we get to know how do we get prepared to have, to handle disasters when they happen, because disasters can happen to any place and to any nation, poor or rich or whatever. You cannot stop them, but what you can do is to prepare how to handle them when they happen, so that people are not affected as much as we see right now. So the lines are ready and are open. Let me hear your views, what you have to say this evening. Just keep it short. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Maybe your own experience. Better if you are coming from Eastern Uganda and you have witnessed some of these things. And so I have a call online. Hello.
Yes, this is the process from Arua.
I'm sorry?
This is a process from Arua.
From Arua. Go right ahead, my brother from Arua.
My brother, it is bad news in Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
I am sure I want to allow people in Uganda to stop to stay in mountain areas, open areas, because it is very dangerous. People, when we have lost, we cannot replace them. But my brother, I'm sure I'm talking to.
Okay. That's a caller there coming in from Arua, and he's advising that if you're staying on the mountain, a place that is prone to disasters, it's better to avoid such areas so that you save your life. I have another call online. Hello.
Yes. Good evening, Kamara.
Good evening. What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
This is Wanyaka Hussein from Katoke.
Wanyata in Katoke.
Yes, please. And I am a Mukiso who is residing in Katoke.
Katoke, this side of Nansana?
Yes, please.
All right, go ahead.
And you are talking to a Mugisu now who is from the mountains where the landslide happened.
Are you sure you're Mugisu?
Yes, sir. I'm Wanyaka.
Uriena? Amakua. Okay, go right ahead. Let's go back to English.
Now,
yeah.
The question is a bit tricky. If you wait for people to die, then you take an action.
Mm-hmm.
Is not good. Maybe those areas should be gazetted for agriculture. Then when it is a rainy season like this, they tell people never to go there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for agriculture purposes, not for staying there or having households there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a better way to prevent people from dying. But if you leave them to do that, then you wait. Because the answer is going to be automatic. An evacuation.
Okay.
If it happens, then it will be just an evacuation.
Are you worried for your people in Bugesu?
Totally. This period is going to be so terrible. If at all they leave them there, they're going to die automatically. Because that land, the water just seeps in and the land just slides.
How about, what do you make of some people have been saying, you know what, maybe with a lot of respect, that some people are also to blame because this new generation is not handling nature or environment like your forefathers did?
I beg your pardon, Tamara.
What do you make of people who are also blaming the current generation for not taking care of the environment just like your forefathers did?
Oh, that is really the work of the government to protect the environment, because people alone are going to look for firewood. If they have no electricity to use to cook food, of course they are going to attack the forest. And the land is going to be destroyed. So that's the work of the government to provide for its people. And they get what to use, then they will be leaving the environment. I think that's my opinion about it.
All right. I want to thank you so much, our caller from Katoke. Thank you very much. You know, different views, different ideas. Some people think government needs to do more. Of course, some people know that the environment has been destroyed and the trees have been, the area has been deforested. And so when you lose forest cover, you are likely also to find such problems come your way. The lines are open. Okay, you can call again, and then let us know what you think about how the issue of disaster can be handled. It's not only Bududa or the Elgon area. We have them in Kasese area, River Nyamwamba wreaking havoc. We have them on our roads. The other day, the fuel tank were exploding and people died. And just some years back, I think 2014, on the northern bypass, again, fuel tank exploded, killing almost 30 people. Sometimes we Ugandans do not learn. You see a fuel tanker has just gone down, and you also come with a jerrycan to get your fuel. But that you can be walking to your death, and somehow we forget very fast. I don't understand. You have to stay far away from a fuel tanker that has had an accident. We have a call online. Hello.
Kamara, in effect.
Yes. Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, I would like to say that mindset of human being has gone past their ability.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ugandan mindset, I don't know how first government can sensitize this Ugandan. So, danger is all danger. And when they are coming for you, they'll find you are no more. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, the public have to learn something that really those disaster areas are supposed to be avoided by human beings for settlement. I thank you very much.
Okay. Avoiding, I have another call online. Hello.
Mr. Kamara, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name? Good evening, ma'am. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you for the Tigwa.
Okay, you're welcome.
Now,
yes,
you're talking about disaster.
Yes.
Disaster preparedness. I live in Chira.
Mm.
And the UNRWA has been constructing this road of Kasangate, Chira, and all that.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
But they have been very careless and have diverted water to residential areas. The volumes,
I can imagine.
The volumes that go to those residential areas can take a 5-year-old child.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Yes.
We have seen even people die on the channels of Kampala, with the channels.
So I wonder, when they are diverting those waters, do they just divert the waters and they go to residential areas, or they plan? We're talking about disasters. If you walked along this Chira, you will find for yourself that there's a disaster waiting to happen. I'm telling you.
That is of concern, and I'm sure those who are responsible are listening, because these are engineers. I suppose they know better. I mean,
absolutely. And then they tell us, "Oh, you see, we diverted this water, but we didn't have a budget to do this small road." I mean, you don't have a budget. Don't divert the water. Find a solution.
If you don't have a budget, you don't channel the water into my house.
Yes, they have diverted water into the houses. Residents are suffering. When it rains, people don't sleep. It's not right.
It isn't. Okay, thank you very much. I can assure you your view has been taken, heard, you've made your case somewhere. I suppose somewhere someone is listening and action should be taken, because it takes a lot of work to even buy a plot of land and put up a house and construct something for your loved ones, and then water gushes into it out of nowhere, and yet it could have been avoided. So that such shouldn't even be a disaster. That is something more or less like intentional, because what do you mean if you're constructing a road and you're making a channel and you're channeling the water into somebody's home? We have a call online. Hello.
Kamara, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kaweme. This is the Luo man.
Yes, Luo man. Itieningo. Okay. Let's go back.
Now, Mr. Kamara, one thing with Uganda is they first wait for things to happen, then they become to be very serious. I see what we are lacking is the sanitization. The government should keep on sanitizing people, because people learn, when we stay at this place, this thing may happen. when we do this thing may happen, then they should keep on telling people, you avoid being in this place, avoid doing this. If they need advert on radio, they should keep telling the Ugandan people.
Yeah,
local people staying in the village there, they don't know because they lack land.
I hear you. I agree with you, Omer Apoematek. Okay, so let me pick another call online. Many of you quite are interested in this. Hello.
Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the show.
You're welcome. What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
Paul from Mukono.
From Mukono.
Patrick.
Yes, sir.
The worst aspect of it is our government has made us to live a laissez kind of lifestyle. The government is not intending to annoy its voters. Rather, if someone does something that's catastrophic to the environment, they need to be penalized. People who have a chance to travel, how often have you had landslides in Rwanda, the country that's so-called a country of over 1,000 hills or 1,000 mountains?
Very rare.
Still areas are covered with eucalyptus trees, and barely we hear anything like a landslide, like it is in Uganda. Somebody takes a drink, they just throw a bottle, a cavera, anyhow, anywhere.
So it is our own, destruction of the environment that the environment is hitting back. All right, looks like. I want to thank you so much for all of you. My producer thinks I can just take one more caller, and since so many of you would want to express yourselves, so this is your time to have your say. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you are the last caller. Please make it brief and your name and your submission.
I got a missed call from this.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, I think I'm closing. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, hello.
Well done.
Thank you. What's your name, sir?
This is Benon calling from Kamuli.
Benon in Kamuli, you just have like 30 seconds to make your point.
I think the relationship with man and himself, the relationship between man and the environment, but and you find that person going back. Is it the role of the government? Maybe what we do, we can advise the government to do more protection of the local people.
Okay, I want to thank you, all of you, for having participated in this program by calling in the views, the ideas, and earlier the chairperson of Bulambuli and the member of parliament from Bulambuli, and all of you for having shared. What I've learned is that nature has to be protected, because if it doesn't, Mother Nature can always strike back with disastrous effects. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of the Hot Seat. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same station. Good night, and God bless Uganda.